Here we are today with another Express video. Today we're going to talk about the different ways we can hold on to a part. First, let's review what an EDM table looks like. It's much different than a milling machine table. And that is that we have this big opening that we must suspend the part over. Also, the machine can only get about a ½ inch to the edge of the table. There's a few things we want to keep in mind when deciding what method to use to hold on to a part. The first is we like to have good flushing. What I mean by that is we like to have the upper and lower heads right down on the part, about 6 to 10 thousandths away from the top and bottom of the part. If we can't get both heads down on the part, we'd like to get one. And with one, we'll get pretty good results. If we can't get either head close to the part, and we're machining a thicker part, the machining speed of the rough cut can be greatly reduced, maybe half the speed. So if you're cutting a 4 or 5 inch thick part and can't get the heads right down onto it, you could easily be adding hours to your cut. The next thing we want to think about is we don't want to crash the machine into anything, such as a clamp, the part itself, or support that might be holding the part. And the third thing we want to remember is that any features we need to measure need to be within this opening. Now why don't we take a look at the most basic way to hold on to a part, and that would be toe clamping the part to the table. Okay, here we are back at the machine with two parts toe clamped to the table. The part here on the right, this would be a good way to machine this part if we don't need to machine anything near these edges. The other round part, if we were to have to put a keyway in the bore, this would be a good way to hold on to the part. Why don't we take a look at some other methods, such as holding a part between two rails. Here we are with a large part supported between two rails. It's a very good way to hold a large part. One of the things we need to keep in mind, though, is that we could crash into this lower support with the lower head. Or we could crash the upper head into the toe clamp. But this is a good way to have the part be totally in the travel of the machine. Another nice feature is these slots are cut in this rail, and we can come on by and thread through this hole and measure the edge of the part. By using rails, a lot of times you can get both the upper and lower head right down on the part and have excellent flushing, and thus machine the part as fast as possible. Let's take a look at the next option we have, which is you take a smaller part and put it into an EDM vise. Here we are with one of our small EDM vices connected to one of our leveling heads. By turning these two screws, we can actually level the part in the machine. We also have a larger EDM vise to hold larger parts. Here's a part that is larger. We could hold a part maybe weighing about 10-15 pounds with this. We can also use the leveling head to indicate up to two sides to make sure that the part is parallel to the wire. There are many different types of devices we could attach to the leveling heads. Here I'll just show you one of our other options, which would be a large V-block to hold a large round. The other nice thing about these air chucks is we can do this setup offline and reduce the amount of time during setup in the machine. There's one more thing I'd like to show you, and that's how we would cut thin parts when we stack them all together. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, here's the last thing I want to show you today. This is some 30 thousandths thick copper. We have many sheets stacked together. We have them clamped onto these two rails. We hole pop two holes, and we cut the stack all at once. It's just much more faster than cutting them one at a time, thus saving a lot of money. If you have any questions about any of our videos, feel free to email me, and thank you for checking out this video.